Hey everyone, welcome to Z's Bees. Today we're going to do a hive inspection. It's been a little while. Matt was off on vacation. He's back here today so we can kind of get a nice film of a hive inspection. If you haven't watched the latest videos and whatnot, I've been doing a little bit of work down here. We removed the queen excluders. This hive is looking really good with the bit of a nectar flow that we have here. So I'm looking to see that they are starting to build out comb and possibly store some honey in this honey super here. This is the swarm that I caught. This has a mega population of bees in it. So I want to make sure that they have enough room. I want to make sure that that queen isn't going so crazy that she doesn't have room and then they decide to swarm again. It's starting to get a little bit past the swarm season, so I'm hoping that they're good and they start to turn to drawing out the comb up here and start to bring in some more honey. This one over here, this is one that is kind of, I need to check. They backfilled a lot of the brood chamber after it hatched with honey. This is the one I want to requeen itself. So there's some work that may need to be done over here, possibly purchasing a new queen, just kind of seeing where things are at on that. So it's a bit of a cloudy day. Not the best time to do a hive inspection, but sometimes we have to make our schedule and not work on the bees' schedule. So with that said, we'll jump into it. All right. This is exactly what we want to see. This is the honey super. So we're going to smoke them down. Not sure if you can hear that, but you can kind of hear a different tone of their buzz. And we'll see where we're at here. I have a feeling, based on what I'm seeing, that we're going to be adding another honey super here real soon. Because I don't have the queen excluder, I do want to pay attention to whether or not the queen is up here. So start on the end here, and this is looking really good. They're drawing that out. If you get real close, you see some of that shiny in there. That is nectar that when they cap over will then become honey. Same thing here, and I can already tell by the weight, and that's looking excellent. They're capping it over already. And hopefully I don't see any eggs in there, which means that this is going to be honey. And let me show you the next frame here. This is really cool. So what I'm going to be doing here in the next day or so is adding another honey super, because I have about 70 to 80% of the honey super drawn out. So you see here, Matt, if you just want to get real close on that, you can actually see them storing nectar in there. And there are no eggs whatsoever. I'll work a little bit more towards the center just to see if the queen has made her way up here at all. If she has, it's not the end of the world, but what I want to see is just that all of it is honey, which this is honey and nectar. So what this means, guys, we're gonna have honey this year. We're gonna be able to, as long as they cap all this over, we're gonna have some honey. This is really exciting. Again, no eggs up here in the honey super. No eggs over here. This is really good. Okay, we found Miss Queen. She has plenty of room. If you look right there, she's going around. This is looking really, really good. Get nice and close to her. You see her big hind end there. So we got to make sure when we put her in there now that we don't roll her. So we're here, and I'm gonna very slowly slide her over. I'm gonna slide this one over, and then what I'm gonna do, slide this frame over. I should have brought another one over. Let me show you what ended up happening here. So the bees here, they're eating the honey because I bought some cheaper inner foundations. That's the black plastic. And if you look at it, it's concave, and it creates, they try to fill in these gaps. And so this is what ends up happening is they bridge the gap. And because this was too far of a distance, the bee space was out of whack. Because I don't mind what I'm seeing here, I'm gonna put this one back in here. And I'm gonna, I may need to change this out eventually, but I'm okay with it right now. All right, guys, so we don't have a film of it, but I wanted to get in here. You guys saw where we found the queen. I lifted this deep box off, and the bees started getting a little bit crazy. Like, they all started pouring out. There's a lot of bees in here. I'm gonna add another honey super. When I add it on top, it's called top supering. Because I have a whole bunch of honey here already, I'm gonna build it on top because I want that honey barrier, which is gonna act like my queen excluder. The queen will not go past where the honey is, and so she'll still lay down here. When we did go through, what we did see is that she still had room to lay. A little bit concerned about swarming in here just on the population. I think we're still gonna be all right. She has plenty of room that's in there. I didn't see any other signs, didn't see any sort of swarm cells. So what we're gonna do is give them some more room, and hopefully they build honey in there. Okay, so we got this back on. We have 10 of the undrawn honey frames in there, the medium frames, undrawn foundation. That's the plastic cell that is in there that has the honeycomb formation. I re-waxed them, so hopefully they move up here. Hopefully it gives them enough room. There's a lot of bees in this. This is looking really, really good. Again, I'm hoping we're past the point of swarming, and we should be good. So what I'm gonna do, grab my cover, put this on, and we're gonna move on to the next one. All right. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay. See a bunch of bees up in the honey super. Just a preliminary assessment. I don't see too much drawn out. That's okay. Give them some smoke there. In between, I refilled my smoker so that we're good to go. The biggest thing is staying ahead. You don't want to have your smoker run out of fuel while you're working with your bees. And just peeking in here, it looks like they have not started to draw a whole lot yet. They are beginning. I can see just a real little bit. Real little bit. So we will, let me just check one of the middle frames here. Good, okay, so this one, they're drawing out much more. And then as I go over one more, I'm starting to really see here that they're drawing out. Man, if you want to get a little bit closer, and you look at an angle, you can really see at that point how they're starting to draw it out. You see the yellow, but then you see the white on top. That's them starting to draw out. So that's a really good sign that they're starting to move up in there and starting to draw that out. So let's take this honey super off. Let's see what we got in the brood chamber. Okay, so now we're in the bottom. The top looked really good. They had honey. The queen was in there. We saw eggs. We saw 4-day, 5-day-old larvae in there. Now we're in the bottom. So here you see the pollen in there. You see the honey around the top. You see the backside. They're starting to store some honey in there. So we're going to work our way over. What I want to see is that one, that we have some capped brood, but also maybe that we have some hatching and that she has some room to lay. And look at that. That is beautiful. So let's see if we can find any emerging. It looks like some are emerging right now, and I see some open cells around there. And see down there too, you see a little bit of nectar in there, but the queen is going to have some room to lay in there. This is really what I want to see. So I'm hoping we'll take a look at these bees. Are much more calm than they are. Look at that brood pattern. My goodness. I'm looking at larvae and take care of them there. So this is perfect. Now, I really want to look for the queen here, because you see here where they have hatched out of the middle, and this was that swarm. So they started all fresh here. They're backfilling a little bit of nectar down there. I'm not too worried about that because they're not overdoing it. Give them a little bit of smoke. They really don't like the black glove when I come over top of them. A lot of times they come and bump my hand. Again, look at that pattern. Absolutely wonderful. That's exactly how it should look. Now, my biggest concern, I shouldn't say a concern, is that she has room to lay in here. And on top, I saw that she had some room. A couple frames earlier, she had some room. But again, just looking at these frames, I mean, they're just loaded. This queen is crazy. That is just picture perfect. I see some drone comb down on the bottom. They make those a little bit bigger. That's for the male bees. I'd like to see the queen. We didn't see her in the upper. And again, my goodness. It's just some drone comb on the bottom. Those are not queen cells. So again, I'm gonna have to keep a really close eye on this hive because their population is getting quite significant. I'm gonna go all the way over to the edge. I can tell that there's some honey in here. And there's a whole bunch of pollen over there. And that's all honey, some of it's capped. So the queen that I've been so impressed with continues to impress. Okay, so this is the hive that swarmed, which is now obviously the queen is in that one. What I want to see here is they had a whole bunch of queen cells. We're going to get down there, we're going to see other populations doing, and then what I'm going to do is I might remove this honey super depending on what I see. My concern is that we're in a nectar flow and that the worker bees are going out and they're filling everything up, so even if the queen comes back, she has nowhere to lay. So let's see what we have here. We'll dive into it. Okay, like I said, we are in a nectar flow. That is absolutely pure honey right there. So although yes, I'm excited for honey, this is also the queen can't lay here. Now this is the outermost frame. So we're gonna start to work around here. Just set this down. And again, this is a frame of honey, just looking at all the drones that are on there. Now, I guess what I'm seeing in here is something good on this next frame. So again, this is honey. We could extract that. We probably won't. These are good frames that we'll be saving for winter. We'll leave them in here. We'll see what they do with it. The population here is really, really good still. Matt, if you want to just kind of show down into the hive, you can see the amount that are in there. So we'll start to see here once what we're looking at for okay. So a lot of drones. You want to get real close on that? So you just see all the big bodies in there. Those are all drones. And they're even in that where the brood used to be, is that darker color, they're starting to fill that all in with nectar. So we'll just quick. Okay, so interesting thing happened again. When we got down to the second deep down here, the bees started pouring out of it. I'm sorry, kind of like the first one that we did. You can see here, they're still out on the front. My thought is if they had a queen that hatched out, there's so much honey in there, she may have then triggered an additional swarm somewhere. So I'm gonna pay attention over the next few days and just kind of see what's going on. I didn't end up going down there because there was too much. Need to do some research on it, need to learn. But our hive over here is looking really good. They're starting to build this out. This one looks super strong. We need them to start building out the honey supers. This one here, we added a second honey super on here. There's a ton of bees in here as well. Again, swarm prevention is the key, but you know, as we start to continue to build up on it. So that's what it is for today. We'll keep you posted on it. This is Z's Bees. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Go onto the Facebook page, Z's Bees. Check it out. Comment on some stuff. Get some discussion going. Thanks for watching.